Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to CricBuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now. Let's start talking about India, South Africa already. India play back-to-back cricket. Of course, this starts on Wednesday. The first T20I in Thiruvananthapuram, the second in Guwahati, the third in Indore. Of course, after that, the ODI starts from October 6th. Let's have a look at South Africa's T20I squad as well. This is, of course, the squad that they've announced for the T20 World Cup as well. And this is the same squad that's touring. And this is a power-packed squad, Joy. I mean, right from the top, you've got Quinton de Kock, David Miller, as AJ was mentioning, then Aiden Markram, Klaassen, Riley Russo's been doing really well, Reza Hendricks, Tristan Stubbs, the new hotshot in town for them, and then the bowlers, of course, you've got Kagiso Rabada, Anrik Noke, Tabraiz Shamsi, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi and Giri. So this is a power-packed squad.
This is a potentially World Cup winning squad. Of course, we've said that about South Africa so many times. They've proved us wrong so many times. So I don't want to say it, but they have all the weapons. They have the quality in their batting. They have the all-rounders. And I think, somebody like a Parnell's come back, played a lot of county. He looks a very different player, looks a very responsible player. He was this young tearaway left-armer who could really swing it, could whack it with the ball. But he does far more for you. And that bowling attack is potentially in Australian conditions. That's a terrific bowling attack. I mean, when Rabada and Gidi, Noke, that's a really, really good bowling side.
Yeah, and they're going to challenge
Jensen's missing for me. Jensen was one, and that's the call that they've made. I mean, when each teams look at things
so he's
different.
there, Cameron Green.
So no, he's there. Parnell comes in because of him. I presume they both bowl. So they've gone for experience and somebody who bowls that Yorker. Parnell's one of those Yorker bowlers outside off stump. He was one of those founders of that. So, the tides turned. They brought him back because they feel Rabada, Nokia and Lungi and Gidi are those pure bowlers that you have in your side. Let's keep one rather than pure, bring in somebody like that. So that's one thing. And batting, they've got, this is an interesting batting. And I'm with Joyda. This is a team that will surprise you in a way because how they play abroad or how they play for all the franchise teams are different roles that they play. Here they play different roles for them. So opposition will look at, if they are looking at only numbers and how somebody plays, then you would have more data of those league games. Whereas here they all be playing different roles. So this is a team that could surprise a lot of teams in that World Cup, and unfortunately they're in our pool.
See, I'll tell you one other interesting thing. What has happened is because, and this is how geopolitics impacts everything. Because Brexit has happened, and therefore what happens, Kolpak no longer applies. So two players who were completely outside the South African system, Riley Russo and Wayne Parnell, have made their way back. And now they're really experienced batsmen in the county circuit. So they give you a certain amount of experience and value. And that value, I think they're trying to translate into results as well. So this is a dangerous team. Exactly. They're probably a dangerous team. They could lose by 10 wickets, but also on their day, they could blow away any opposition.
You'd still want the pitches like we saw in the Australia series? You'd like similar pitches just to prepare both teams, of course, especially India, to prepare against the pace of Nokia, to prepare against the pace of Rabada. You'd like some good true tracks there as well?
Look, we need true tracks just to prepare for Australia. Forget about anything else. Just play them in the right conditions. Play them as close to those conditions. Look, it doesn't always happen. It's not that easy to do. It's not that easy for... I don't know what the Trivandrum pitch now is, but, it used to be a pretty decent track. It wasn't ever a very slow or sticky track.
This is, I think, happening at that new ground, the Greenfield Stadium.
Plus, these days you don't know because Pat Cummins can bowl 145, 150, but in the 8 and 4, 10 overs that he's bowled on this tour, which is 60 balls, he's probably bowled 36 balls, which were slower ones. So if you prepare bouncy tracks and they keep bowling spin...
With Nokia and Rabada, you can kind of expect the pacey.
You never know. With Rabada also these days we see, it comes in. I think it's becoming difficult for certain players not to play how everybody else is playing. It's like fashion. I mean, or, trends that you have, or modern day life has become so demanding in ways. So players, I see that happening to players as well, that you feel left out if you don't have some skill. Cameron Green, prime example, can't bowl slower ones, can't bat this, so not part of the 2020 setup. But now that he's succeeded, it'll change. So it'll be interesting to see what they are going to come up with.
Now, so the last time South Africa toured India, and it wasn't that long back, the series was drawn 2-2. The last game was a washout. They will pose a better challenge now because this is a full-strength South Africa squad. One player that you're watching out for, Joy, from the squad. You can name two as well. They're so good.
Look, I love Tristan Stubbs. I
Yeah.
think he's a sensational player.
Me too.
But I'll tell you the guy that for me holds that team together and he's a key for them. He's the guy is Aiden Markram. He's very, very talented. He can bowl a bit of spin for you as well. But the interesting thing about it is he's the guy who's that classical number 4. And he's not going to score at 160, 170. He's that Virat Kohli for them, 135, 40 player. Other players play around him. Of course, De Kock is unquestionable talent. But for me, I enjoy watching Markram and I think he's still work in progress. And Tristan Stubbs is just this young kid who looks absolutely spectacular. I love to watch him bat.
Yeah, correct. Indian players to watch out for you, AJ?
Indian players to watch out now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone you'd still keep an eye on.
I mean, somebody who'll have a good series, I think KL Rahul. With that kind of bowling, works perfect. And he hasn't had as good a series
As
that
he
he would
would
want.
like,
I
yeah.
think KL Rahul's the man I will be watching out for. And I hope they play Ravichandran Ashwin because he's a man that I will watch out for. He could make a difference from India's point of view.